this is Frode and welcome to this video. Today you'll learn the difference between optimism and pessimism, how self-actualization is not a choice, the importance of fundamentals, that wealth is a byproduct, and how to live at your highest potential moment to moment to moment. And on this channel I deliver 5 great ideas from books that help us think differently and actualize our potential. So if you're new here, you can consider subscribing. And today we have a fantastic book, a philosopher's notes on optimal living, creating an authentically awesome life, and other such goodness. It's a book written by Brian Johnson, and Brian is really the reason that I do what I do. It started out when I started watching his YouTube videos about a year ago. I watched through almost all of his videos, but I think there are 800 of them now or something. And I kind of liked his videos and was fascinated by the awesome ideas he shared. And then I started watching through all of his videos again, and about halfway through that process I was smitten by the desire to start sharing ideas myself. And I started sharing ideas, and now I am on my 3rd time watching through all of Brian's videos. I just never get tired of his awesome wisdom. Anyway, he is the reason I do what I do. And what he has found out after reading hundreds and hundreds of books, writing about them, sharing them in videos, masterclasses, etc., he has found that the essence of optimal living comes down to these 10 principles: optimism, purpose, self-awareness, goals, action, energy, wisdom, courage, love, and entheos. And entheos means the force that beats our hearts. And those are the 10 parts of the book, with a lot of great ideas under each of them. And Brian is the philosopher and CEO of Entheos, a company which helps people optimize their lives so we can change the world together. After graduating Phi Beta Kappa from UCLA, where he studied psychology and business, he raised over $8 million to finance the creation of the market-leading platforms E-Team and Zods, which he later sold. And he founded his new company, Optimize, where he is chief philosopher, sharing great ideas through Philosopher's Notes TV, mini classes, master classes, etc. I'm sorry, micro classes. And yes, with that, let's just get started with the first big idea, which is optimism versus pessimism. And Brian says that the difference between optimism and pessimism is really quite simple. It's all about our orientation to the world. In any given moment, we either choose, and yes, it's a choice, an empowering perspective or a disempowering perspective. We either choose to be a victim or we choose to be a creator. And a victim is the one who constantly focuses on all of the wrong things in their lives and all the wrong people in their lives. They keep complaining, criticizing, blaming, gossiping. Brian says they're hanging out in victim land, the unhappiest place on earth. On the other side, you have the creators, those who know what they want. Those who take, as Jack Canfield says in the Success Principles, 100% responsibility for their lives. So that leads me to a question: what do you want? Keep focusing on that. Let's be creators, not victims, hanging out in victim land, the unhappiest place on earth. The second big idea is soul oxygen. I guess you might be familiar with the name Abraham Maslow. In the 20th century, he was a humanistic psychologist and who studied the greatest people of his generation, people like Eleanor Roosevelt and Einstein. He's the guy who came up with the hierarchy of needs. And Brian says that as we go up through the hierarchy of needs, satisfying our basic needs for food, shelter, belonging, etc., we strike self-actualization. And then that becomes the fundamental need. It's not something that would kind of sort of be a nice thing to do, but it becomes a fundamental need, something we have to do if we don't want to be unhappy with our lives. Maslow says that what one can be, one must be. And Brian shares another great idea, some other great words from Maslow. If you deliberately plan on being less than you are capable of being, then I warn you that you'll be unhappy for the rest of your life. And Brian advises us, the next time you're feeling funky, check in and see if you're really living fully or if you're only kinda sorta showing up. That funkiness is your soul gasping for the oxygen of you truly rocking it. And if you are unsure about what you want to pour your whole soul into, how you want to self-actualize, Chris Guillebeau has some awesome tips for you in the book Born for This. Try a lot of things. Over time you discover something that requires more of your time and attention, and that's when you switch to focusing more and more on that one thing. The third big idea is consistency on the fundamentals. Brian talks about how Robin Sharma studies greatness, and what Sharma has found out is that all great masters are consistent on their fundamentals. They might have specific skills that are different in their fields, for example for an extraordinary athlete, or an entrepreneur, or an artist. But what all these great people have in common is a desire for consistency on their fundamentals. They show up day in and day out, rocking the things that are most important to be great in their fields. For me, this is 2 2 2-hour time blocks every day, where I write notes for the books I share videos from, and I create these videos. And other things I do is to meditate, exercise, read, eat healthy foods, etc. Which brings me to, what are your fundamentals that help you consistently rocking it, giving you a lot of energy, a good mood, helping you make your mark in the world? The fourth big idea is wealth is a byproduct. Let's meet the two goddesses of wealth, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Lakshmi is the traditional goddess of wealth, in other words, money. The thing is that if you chase after her, she will tend to avoid you. But if you instead chase the goddess of knowledge, Saraswati, something amazing happens. It turns out that Lakshmi, the goddess of money, wealth, is a jealous goddess. So if she sees you flirting with Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, she will start chasing after you. So the moral of this story is quite simple. Money will come as a byproduct of your relentless pursuit of self-knowledge and self-actualization. Jim Rohn echoes this wisdom in his book, My Philosophy for a Successful Living, where he says that number 1, you'll be paid for what you bring to the marketplace. And number 2, you get paid for what you become. You need to remember that you are your own product. And the last big idea is think arete. Brian talks about how we can nurture our entheos, our inner force, by worshipping arete, living at our highest potential, moment to moment to moment. And he says that arete was one of the highest ideals of the Greek culture. Philosophers like Aristotle, Plato and Socrates said that if you want happiness in your life, you have to think arete. Remember what he talked about. Self-actualization becomes a fundamental need as you go up through the hierarchy of needs, not something that would kinda sorta be a nice thing to do. And what are the times when you feel the most alive? Think about it for a second. It's when we are being ourselves, our highest selves. And the best way to do that? Think arete. I want to leave you off with Brian's last word from the book. Move the world. Change the world. Push the human race forward. Whatever you call it, go out and do it. When? Now. Not when you have enough money or want to do this or do that. That's nonsense. It's not going to be easy, but go out and live your dream. Now. You deserve it. And if that doesn't move you, the world deserves it. Think arete. Alright, if you like this video, you'll probably like Leading an Inspired Life by Jim Rohn. And if you want new videos every day where I share these great ideas, you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm looking forward to share more great ideas with you soon. Have an awesome day. Take care.